Captain, look at the release radar right now.
What do we got, Corporal?
We've got a 1.3 megaton trailer coming in hot.
No, Corporal, there's 5 of them. May God have mercy on our souls. Do you know what makes me really happy? Really happy? This is the first time that, yes, there are 5 of them. We have 5 releases to talk about this week. Because there is literally 1 video game releasing. 1.
Yeah.
The hell? I'm stunned. So let's kick it off with the movies because there was some to select from. And I did go pretty mainstream for a lot of these picks. A lot of the movies coming out, there is some artsy ones, some weird ones with limited releases, but they just didn't land as something I think that either of us would find interesting or the listeners. Asteroid City almost made the cut because it has a limited release in certain cinemas this week, but then it rolls out fully next week. So we'll talk about that then. So kicking it off, Elemental. We've talked about this on the show before, and I'm still keen as hell. It looked so good.
I love Pixar. Pixar is amazing, man. They just do good things. And this just looks like another good thing, you know? Like, this just looks like Inside Out, but elementals. So
100%.
I'm ready. I'm so ready for it. And it's gorgeous. Like, it looks gorgeous. And they're charismatic as heck, like always.
Yeah, it's a city where fire, water, land, and air residents live together. A fiery young woman and a go-with-the-flow guy. So that's a flame element and a water element, obviously. They discover something elemental, which is how much they actually have in common. So it looks good. On paper, it sounds good. I recognized none of the cast, really, but I did see that the director and co-writer of it basically based the story on growing up in, like, a New York borough with all the different sort of cultures. It was like a melting pot of all different backgrounds and people coming together and, you know, influencing each other. So the city is essentially everybody sticks to their own lane in their own areas, and then these two cross over. So kind of Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if they're going to be romantically intertwined or if it's just a friendship.
They seem like it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But goddamn, the way they've done the different areas, the different characteristics of the anthropomorphic elements is just incredible. And as we've covered on the show, I am a sucker for family animated movies. I love them. They warm my soul.
100%, man. Studio Ghibli, some of my favorite films of all time.
Now, this is from another show, but when I say animated, I mean CGI, fucking 3D animation, and Murray likes to define animated as a cartoon. But that's okay. We've figured this out now.
Sorry, hang on. Are you saying like Studio Ghibli and Pixar are different kinds of animation? Are they different in your world? Oh, see, I put them together under animation.
Oh my
God. I would
okay.
put Peter Rabbit as not animation because Peter Rabbit has like non-animated elements to it.
Agree to disagree, just like we did on the last thing that never saw the light of day because of this argument. Oh, it's great. Maybe one day it'll come out.
Oh, definitely. It's coming out. We're going to make it happen. Scripty Business, people. Look that up on Spotify in like 2 months.
2 months, Scripty Business, check us out. But in the meantime, this one was directed and co-written, Elemental, that is, by Peter Sohn, who previously directed The Good Dinosaur Pixar movie that I actually really enjoyed. It flopped critically, commercially, but I thought it was pretty decent. He's actually been at Pixar since 2000 and worked on Finding Nemo, Incredibles, and WALL-E in the story and art department, so he knows his way around a top flick for Pixar. Elemental comes out next week.
Hell yeah, very keen.
The next one, again, we've talked about it. But good God, The Flash is coming out finally. Oh, baby.
Oh, lordy lord.
Damn. It looks so good. It looks so good. Multiple Batman, multiple Flashes. There's a Supergirl, potentially a Superman. It's got it all. It also has Tamura Morrison, who plays Boba Fett, and Arthur Curry, which is Aquaman's dad. He's in the cast currently on IMDb, so potentially making an appearance in this movie somehow, God knows how. But Keaton's Batman returning, this has got to be a great movie.
I think that's maybe the part of the trailer that I found the most amusing is you've got Batfleck, and even though I don't like Affo in general, he is very fit and he does look like a Batman, right? But then for what it looks like, most of the film is Keaton and he's an old man. He's not just old. He's like, oh my God, what's his name? Oh, I've brought shame to my entire family. The butler, help me out. Jesus Christ.
Alfred? He's like Alfred old?
He's like Alfred old, right? He's not Batman old, he's Alfred old. But he's out there doing these bowler-ass stunts the whole way through that trailer. And I'm like, this dude is like pushing 70, is he? But he's like on the bike, doing flips, getting out of the jet, doing flips, soaring. And it all looks cool as heck. But I'm like, there's no way that I'm sorry, Keaton, I actually love you, but there's no way that Bag of Bones is doing that. Like, it's just not happening.
Now, this is an interesting comment to make because I've been saying for months that this is doing the Flashpoint storyline, which will reset everything in the DCU. In Flashpoint, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but the Batman in Flashpoint story is actually Thomas Wayne, Bruce's dad.
It is Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint.
It is Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint. Hey, there we go.
But he's also ripped as shit.
But I'm just saying, like, it could be that in this storyline, Bruce is dead and Michael Keaton is playing Thomas Wayne. But that would piss me off then because it's not the Batman from the old universe, the Burton universe. So it's like, I would like it and I'd hate it. There's too much about this movie that I could either love or hate. It's still going to be good, though.
Yeah, I mean, it looks all right.
The next one to talk about is The Blackening, which looks great. It looks so good. Right?
No, I'm very excited about this one.
Oh my God.
I love like subverting tropes, and that it in itself has become a trope. Subverting tropes is a trope, but it's like one of my favorite tropes. So I'm like, I'm there. And like the amount of references to like culture in the trailer was like, it's just like, when the first thing that pops up is like, how can they all die first? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It almost gives me like scary movie vibes.
It does give me scary movie vibes.
But not in the way that it's just ripping off shit jokes to be like, hey, remember this? This is funny because this is that other thing. It's making its own humor and its own jokes, but I just get mad scary movie vibes. It's from the director of Ride Along and Barbershop, Tim Story. So not the type of movie that's for everybody, but if you like that sort of humor, you'll love it. It's currently sitting at 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb, so it's not very well received.
That's so upsetting.
But for those that don't know, this is a horror movie where the cast has a knowledge of horror movies, and they actually attempt to apply that knowledge and logic to their current situation, which is rarely done. It's 7 black friends going away for the weekend, only to find themselves trapped in a cabin with a killer who has a vendetta. And the tagline, as Murray said, or touched upon, is, we can't all die first. And I am here for it. It looks, I'm really keen for it. The Blackening comes out this week, and it looks great.
The like little Jumanji board game in the trailer.
The last movie to come out that I thought was worth talking about is a Jon Hamm and Tina Fey led black comedy, crime thriller comedy movie, Maggie Moore's, S in brackets, because there's 2 of them. This one follows a police chief who's investigating back-to-back murders of 2 women with the same name, Maggie Moore, and it does say it's based on a true story, but I can't find any sources that go into detail about what that story was, so take it with a grain of salt, because Paranormal Activity is based on a true story. The Conjuring is based on a true story. But now I shouldn't have said
Horror
that.
Based on a true story.
The Conjuring and the Amityville Horror, though, they have some pretty cool true stories that they're based on. So that they were bad examples.
That's true.
Especially The Conjuring. But what do you think of this one? I think it looks good. I think it looks like a good film. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be a bit of silly fun. I was like, oh, I wonder what this movie's going to be. Is it going to be about the killer? And then in the trailer, they're like, no, this guy actually did it. And I was like, huh, what's this movie about then? Like, if we find out in the first, 20 minutes who the killer is this about the killer trying to get away? Or is it like a Fargo-esque situation? Like, is that what the film is?
I think it's literally going to be about the killer trying to get away. So from the trailer, it looks like it's an accidental murder that they're attempting to cover up by killing another woman who shares the name of the victim of the murder. So it's like a very harebrained plot by somebody who's not the most competent of criminals and doesn't know what they're doing. And then Ham's police chief also doesn't seem from the trailer like he's overly special or fantastic at what he does. I think it's like a bit of a sleepy town where not much happens. So this is like a whole thing. And Faye plays like a neighbor to where the murder happens and gets involved somehow. But Faye and Ham, man, I love watching the two of them work together.
I love Tina Fey, so I'll watch anything.
She's brilliant.
Tina Fey.
There's not too many other cast that jumped off the page for me to mention or any cool facts, other than the fact that the writer, Paul Birnbaum, wrote one of the best Nick Cage movies of all time, Next. Did you ever watch Next?
Yes, that was the one where you could see 3 seconds into the future and he dies like 100 times at the end of the film.
Yes, amazing movie, and I love that film. He wrote that, which is cool, and he also wrote several episodes of 21 Jump Street and The A-Team. Otherwise, a bunch of random shit in the 90s and early 2000s, so really not much that he's written, but Next, Jump Street, A-Team, I don't know, it's something about that gives me a bit of hope. It's also directed by John Slattery, that plays Roger Sterling in Mad Men and Howard Stark in Avengers Endgame, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, that's cool that he's directing now. I enjoy seeing actors take over that sort of role in a film.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, so that comes out next week as well.
Next week. Pew pew.
I don't get it. What?
Next week.
Yes, it comes out next.
You get to watch a very confused man slowly cotton onto the pun that's been delivered to him in real time.
Oh my God.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
That was the worst. That was shit.
You need to be on top of this stuff. You get a better brain, dude. You gotta be on my level.
Wow. Game releases for next week, Murray. There is one. There is one fucking game. I thought there was two, but it's been delayed to August, so one game for next week, and that is Layers of Fear. Did you watch anything other than the trailer I sent you? Because there's some cool shit. There's some cool footage up about this game, like 12-minute like level walkthroughs. No. I am not going to be able to play this. I will give Evil Within a go with you, but this looks fucked.
Don't think it'll be that scary. This will be substantially less scary than the Evil Within. I put money on it.
BioShock scared me. I'm on edge playing BioShock.
Yeah, and Evil Within is so much worse than that.
All right.
Evil Within is an actual spooky game.
Yeah, but Layers of Fear looks like truly like mindfuck terrifying. It's a remake of an old school horror game that I never played and I never want to play, and I don't want to play this remake either. It's coming out June 15th. It's a full remake that covers the general story of the first two Layers of Fear games and all their DLC, but it's built in Unreal Engine 5. It has ray tracing, HDR, 4K, etc., etc. Everything you need to give me a nightmare or make me cry while playing a video game. What did you think?
I have very strong feelings about this because Bloober Team, the developer of this game and the original game, religiously let me down. They make me so angry because like the last game I played of theirs was The Medium, which was an amazing premise
concept
that had one of the worst executions I've ever experienced, maybe ever. Like the start was so good. The start was like, I'm in. She's like this medium and she's also this weird paranormal detective and we're going to go on like this weird little adventure. And then we get to the place and they set up this like lovely murder mystery of like an entire hotel that was like killed. Like everybody that stayed there was just slaughtered in this like horrible event that they don't really ever answer or go into, and then they just forget about that for the rest of the game, and the rest of the game is just walking through this like other world that is okay, but nothing really happens, and it's not that scary, and the characters are fucking painful, and you get to the end, and it's all about oh, I think it was her sister who gets mentioned in the last like 3/4, but it turns out she's driving the entire plot. And then you meet her and she's like, well, the only way for me to like turn this nightmare off is for me to die. And the sister's like, don't kill yourself. And then she's like, whatever. And then it goes to black and then you hear a gunshot and that's the end of the game. And it made me so angry because one, what the fuck was the sister doing in it? We had this amazing mystery that didn't need to be familial because not everything in every fucking story ever made needs to be about family. I'm looking at you, Star Wars. Move on.
And Vin Diesel. Murray, you just did a me. You just took me on a fucking journey because I didn't know all the story of the medium, but that was amazing to listen to. Good God.
My God.
Yeah, they also did the Blair Witch game.
They did, which was actually not bad. Yeah.
And they're remaking Silent Hill 2 at the moment as well.
Which I'm so ambivalent about because that game was amazing, but Bloober Team are not amazing. So what happens when you put something amazing and not amazing together? You get average. And I don't want an average Silent Hill 2.
Layers of Fear, though, is a collaboration between Bloober and also Anshaw Studios that developed Outriders, Darksiders 3, and Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight's pretty good fun. So
yeah, Dead by Daylight is fun, but it's fucking the other two weren't that great. So this is not selling me.
Outriders was not a good game at all. I've tried it 3 times and I refuse to play
it anymore.
And
so did Darksiders 3. It was the worst one of all of them. So like, who cares?
Well, all I'll say about this one is it's a first-person psychedelic horror game with a focus on story and exploration. You control an insane painter who is trying to finish his magnum opus while navigating a constantly changing Victorian-era mansion and ghastly visions of his psyche. And it does look pretty damn trippy.
It looks gorgeous, which I will give Bloober Team that.
Visuals,
the games
yeah.
always look amazing. They just play like garbage. But yeah, great new update. I looked at the trailer and I was like, wow, that looks amazing. That looks so cool. Please, for the love of God, don't
be shit.
Suck face like I know you're gonna, but just this one time. Actually, just these 2 times, Bloober Team. Please just pretend you know how to make a game and then do whatever people who make good games do.
Just do it! Just do it! Sorry, I always think of that.
Exactly
Shia LaBeouf will never leave my mind.
And nor should it.